Bruh, when I was in prison, I knew the exact moment I got COVID, fam. I knew the exact moment, right? I got COVID probably like twice, maybe 3 times in prison, but twice for sure. But look, I was sitting there in my cell in prison, right? And I was writing a letter to my sister. This is a crazy part too. This is a crazy part, gang. I was writing a letter to my sister, and I was telling my sister because at that time when I was in prison, uh, they were shutting down the yards because of the spread of COVID, right? And then anytime anyone caught COVID in the building, they would put a red cross on their door. It'll be a sign, a piece of paper, a 6x9 piece of paper. It'll be a red cross, and they'll tape it to their door. If they tape it up, it means the dude on the top bunk got COVID. If they tape it low, it means the dude on the bottom bunk got COVID, right? And when COVID first hit the yard, at first, I would look out my cell window and I wouldn't see no red crosses. And then over time, you'll see it start sprinkling in. You'll see like a couple cells start having these red cross tags, right? And then one day you look out and you'll see a gang of fucking red crosses now. It just be like the whole building be covered in that shit, right? And that shit was spooky, fam. This is when this, like, COVID was happening for y'all. It was happening for us, too, in prison. And to tell y'all the truth, we weren't really knowing much about what the fuck was going on in prison. We were just getting what we were picking up from the news. But other than that, we didn't really know the full weight of everything that was going on. Like, we didn't know, like, y'all was out there in the streets locked down, too. And y'all was slow motion, too. Like, I kind of got a bar of it. I talked to some people on the phone, on the cell phone, but it didn't get the full spectrum, right? But in prison, when that shit was happening, that shit was spooky, fam. Because I was just like, I would look one day, it'd be like no signs. I look one day, it'd be a sprinkle signs. I swear the next day I look, it'd be like half the building. Next day I look, it'd be like the whole building. I was like, damn, that shit's spreading fast, right? But I haven't had it, right? So I remember I was sitting there writing a letter. To my sister. And I was like, yeah, sis. Everybody and their mama getting this COVID shit. I was like, the whole building's covered with these red crosses. And that shit looks spooky too. When you look out your cell window and you see red crosses everywhere, like, cause the building is like the shape of a U. It's like A section is one leg of the U. B section is the other leg, is the bottom part of the U. And C section is the other leg of the U. You feel me? Just imagine a U like that, and that would be the building. Like I was in C section, looking out towards B and A section, and all you see is red crosses everywhere. That shit was fucking freaky, fam. And so I was writing a letter to my sister. I remember this shit like yesterday. Me and my cellie, neither one of us had COVID yet. Like it seemed to like skip us or some shit, cause we were on our shit though. We were washing our hands. We weren't going out the cell as much as possible. Like as we stayed in the cell as much as possible. We were staying clean. We were disinfecting the cell. We were doing what the fuck we needed to do, right? So I remember sitting there. I was writing my sister a letter. I was like, "Hey sis, my bad for not writing you in a while. Hell of shit been going on. They going crazy with this COVID shit." I said every cell that got a red cross on it means they got COVID, and that shit just spread it like wildfire. Like every cell got a red cross on it now, except for my cell. Me and my cell, we smooth. We just chilling. We ain't got that shit yet. We been on our shit. We been staying clean, putting disinfectant on everything, right? Woo woo woo, wham wham wham. Right, I'm writing my sister's letter, and all of a sudden, fam, from my head to my toe, I got hot, right? And all of a sudden, from my head to my toe, I started sweating. Like, I broke out in this pouring sweat. I was sitting there at the desk writing this letter, and my whole body just became like water. It felt like someone just poured water on me. And my pen was all wet. My paper that I was writing on started getting wet. The letter started getting wet. I said, oh, shit. I said, man, I feel weird, right? I backed up off the letter, and I sat back on my bunk. My mattress was rolled up, right? I laid back against my mattress. And I felt my whole body just wet from head to toe, just pouring wet, right? I said, what the fuck? I laid back. I said, man. I said, man, something might be wrong with me. I feel weird. Right? I told my celly, I said, hey, fool. And my celly was standing up. He was walking around on the floor, right? I said, I think something wrong with me. And he looked at me. He said, what you mean? I said, look at me, fool. I said, I'm all wet. I'm all sweaty and shit. I just got all hot, like a heat flash right now, right? And my celly was like, he's like, nah, fool. He said, I don't think anything's wrong with you and shit. He said, you gonna be all right. He said, we ain't been nowhere. We ain't left the cell. You feel me? We been clean. Like, everybody else got COVID. We ain't got that shit. We smooth, right? But I knew in my head, I knew that when you get hot, is your body's response to trying to push out to make it uncomfortable for any illness. You know what I'm saying? For any sickness. And I knew like in that moment, I said, I'm sick because my body won't do that unless it's instinctively responding to fucking any fucking illnesses that may be in my zone, like maybe my body, right? So I told my celly, I said, bruh, to keep your ass safe, I said, stay your ass over there, right? And tell the police to come slide through. Tell them I want to take a test. I want to take a test. I don't feel good. I said, I think I got that shit, gang. And he said, it's not possible, fool. He said, you can't have that shit, right? I said, trust me, I don't feel good. So he called the CO. They came and they took the test, and they came back like immediately. They said, yeah, you're sick. You got that shit. But my celly didn't have it. So then they had to fucking move me out. They had to separate me from my celly to keep him safe. And then, man, after that, I went to the fucking, I got sick. I got worse and worse. So they sent me to, like, the worst building to hold all the people that were at the fucking worstest. And I started seeing people pass out, pass away right in front of my face, man. I started seeing people go out to the day room. Like, the whole building that I was in was, like, the worst of the worst, right? No, we were one down from the infirmary. We were one down from the hospital. We were like the last leg of the yard. Like if anything from there, we're going to the hospital, right? I seen motherfuckers come out their cell and they couldn't breathe. They needed ventilators and shit like that. I seen motherfuckers come out their cell and lay down in the day room and refuse to go back to their cell because they couldn't breathe. And then the COs don't know what the fuck to do. So these motherfuckers just be laying in the day room fucking gasping for air, and then you see them pass away type shit. I was like, oh shit. And then you thinking to yourself, like, damn, that shit's gonna happen to me next. Like, you feel me? And then when they put you in this building, it was like the last leg before the hospital or the infirmary. I don't know what they were thinking, right? But they thought that if they turned off all heat, like if they turned off all hot water, if they turned off the heater and they just made everything cold, it'll keep the fucking sickness down. It'll keep the pathogens or the illness down, right? And so in this building, we didn't have no hot water, we didn't have no heater, fam. And so we were dealing with COVID, and we were cold, fam. I'm talking about I had beanie on, I had sweater on, thermal on, sweatsuit, thermal, long johns, socks, couple pair of socks, blanket wrapped around me, sitting in the cell, bundled up, dealing with COVID, fam. Throwing up and shit, sick than a bitch. That shit was crazy. And then when they let you take a shower, the shower's ice cold, fam. There ain't no hot water. So motherfuckers weren't taking showers. Motherfuckers was feeling fucked up. Man, that shit was like hell on earth, gang. I swear to God. That shit was fucked up, fam. That shit was fucked up. That shit was a crazy ass time, gang. Motherfucker survived though. Motherfucker lived through that shit though. You feel me? I remember, fam. One day I had this premonition, right? I had like an aha moment. I was sitting there in this building for the fucking worst of the worst, for the sickest. I was sitting there in this building watching people pass away. I literally watched people from my cell in the day room die in front of my face and shit. You feel me? I seen them taking bodies off in stretchers and shit. It was like a dark, gloomy time. Like, it was just death all around us. You feel me? And everybody and their mama was sick. People couldn't breathe. People were coughing. People were choking. It was cold. Um, no hot water, no heater. When they served us fucking food, the food came cold. Everything I ate, I threw up. Everything I drank, I threw up. I felt weak. You feel me? Sometimes I couldn't breathe. I would lose my breath. And I couldn't fucking get myself to breathe and shit. That shit was crazy, fam. Like, I would literally be sitting there and I'll stop breathing. And then in my mind, I'll say, breathe, Danny, breathe. And I wouldn't catch my breath again till like 30, 40 seconds later. But the whole time I'd be sitting there and can't breathe. I'll be telling myself, breathe, Danny, breathe. And I can't breathe. I can't suck in air. Like, my mind says do it, but my body won't do it. And I'll just be sitting there like, and then finally I catch a breath and I'm like, and I'll breathe. That shit was crazy, fam. Those were crazy. And then I got used to them. And at first I used to panic. I'm like, I can't breathe, right? And then I got so used to them that I can't breathe. I just be chilling. I just be sitting there and shit, watching TV. And I'll come back because I knew eventually you'll start breathing again, right? But anyways, one day I was sitting there on my bunk. I was bundled up. I had my blanket wrapped all around me and shit. Cold in the motherfucker, right? And I was all bundled up. And I was like, dang. I said, this COVID shit ain't no joke, gang. I was like, there's people dying all around you. I said, you gotta fight this shit. I said, you gotta fight this shit or else you're gonna die too. Like, ain't nobody give a fuck about you, right? Like, you sitting in this motherfucker, they could care less if you die, fam. Like, the police don't give a fuck, the doctors don't give a fuck, the nurses don't give a fuck. Nobody give a fuck. You gotta give a fuck about yourself. Cause you don't give a fuck about yourself, ain't nobody gonna come save you but you, gang. Nobody give a fuck in this motherfucker. Everybody dying left and right, fam. They don't give a fuck. If you die, then you die. They don't lose no money. They don't lose no sleep, fam. They're not trying to play Captain Save-A-Hole with this bitch. They're not trying to save you, fam. If you die, then you die. It's just the way it is, fam. They don't even understand this shit the damn selves. You know what I'm saying? They scared just like you scared. So, and you gonna sit here and hope some motherfucker gonna come along and be like, and the hero came along to help you carry on some Whitney Houston type shit. No, it ain't going down, fam. You got to, only you can care about yourself, and if you care enough about yourself, then you gonna survive, bitch. So what you gonna do? I said, damn, I gotta survive. I said, how you gonna survive? And the only thing that I could come up with in that moment, I had to do everything that COVID didn't want me to do. That's the only thing that made sense to me. I said, COVID is not trying to let me eat. Every time I try to eat, I throw up. So I gotta fight throwing up and I gotta eat because COVID don't want me to eat. Because if I don't eat, I'm gonna die. You feel me? And that motherfucker want me to keep on throwing up. Every time I taste food, I'm throwing up, right? So what I do, I start forcing myself to eat, fam. Every time I taste food, I would throw up, right? After that, I would just fuck whatever it was, whatever food I had. I would find food I could fuck with too. I can't exactly remember. I think it was Pop-Tarts. I could really fuck with Pop-Tarts at that time, you feel me? And soda. I could drink soda, you feel me? But I would force myself, gang. I would fucking throw that shit in my mouth. Eat that shit, fight to throw up. I would force myself to eat. Then I would force myself to drink. Because every time I drank, I would throw it up. It didn't matter what it was. Water, it didn't matter what it was, right? I would throw up. So I started fighting that shit. I said, fuck that shit. Kobe don't want me to drink. I'm going to drink. Start forcing myself to drink water. I started drinking soda. Soda was really working for me. Orange soda. Orange Fanta. Feel me? Drinking soda. That shit was working. And then little by little, I started fighting that shit. I was like, Kobe don't want you to work out. You got to work out. You feel me? I was like, hell no. I said, man, you got to. Man, I couldn't even breathe. I just go down to the ground. Man, fam, not to try to brag or whatever, but I used to do like 1,000 burpees a day, right? I couldn't even do 100 at that time. Feel me? So I used to go down to the ground. I used to force myself to do one push-up. I do one push-up. I get up and I sit my ass down. I fucking be losing breath. I be winded, but I sit down. I went from doing 1,000 burpees a day to doing one fucking push-up, fam. And I'll force myself, like later on, I'll sit there and like an hour would pass, and I'll be like, Danny, go back down there and try to do one more push-up. I go back down there and I fucking do one more push-up. Get my ass back up. Then little by little, I start getting a little bit stronger. Start doing 2 push-ups. You feel me? And then fucking I be winded. I get back up. I be lightheaded, about to feel like I'm about to faint, fam. I be feeling fucked up. And I was just forcing myself. And before I knew it, motherfuckers around me were falling out all around me, but I was still live. I was still alive, man. And then I survived. You feel me? But there was this one time I really thought I was gonna go out. Right? There was one time I stood up, I walked to the door. I walked to the cell door to go look out the cell window, the front door. And I got fucking lightheaded, fam. I was standing at the cell door. I got lightheaded as fuck. Like my whole body, it felt like it didn't want to work no more. It didn't want to stand me up. It didn't want to breathe. It didn't want to fucking think. It didn't want to see. It didn't want to do nothing. Like all my senses felt like it was shutting down on me, right? And I was standing at the cell door, and I was like all wobbly, and I was like, "Get your ass back to your bunk," right? But nothing was adding up. Like nothing was connecting. Like my mind was saying, "Get your ass back to your bunk. Sit your ass down before you fall. You can hit your head on a locker or something. You feel me? You gonna be fucked up. You fall right now, right?" But my mind was telling my body to move, but my body wasn't moving. You feel me? And nothing felt like it was working, fam. That shit felt weird as fuck, right? Like I felt scared as fuck. I was just like, okay. I was thinking to myself like, okay, this is how it is when shit is over. Like when your body shuts down and it's the end. This is how it feels, right? I was like, oh shit, here we go, pimping. I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh shit, this is what it feels like. Cause literally, I felt like I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I couldn't think, I couldn't like. Shit wasn't like 100%. Everything wasn't working at 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I was just feeling weird. And then I was thinking to myself, like, all right, so now you're about to faint. You're going to hit your body on the ground, your head, and then you're going to go out. Like, whenever that happens, that's when it's going to be done, right? But then something told me, like, some inner voice told me, said, Danny, fight. Fight and sit down, fam. But instead of going to my bunk, I was standing in the front of my cell. And in front of my cell, the toilet is right there. And I said, Danny, the toilet is right there. Just like sit on that motherfucker. With whatever little power you have left, just swing your body and sit on that bitch. So that's what I did. I just like fought that motherfucker. And I swung and I sat in the toilet. And from the toilet, I just fucking was able to take some pressure off my legs, fam. And I was slowly regaining my composure. And I was just like, damn, bro. I was like, get to the bed. Get to the bed. I got to the bed. I just bundled up. I just stayed there. I was like, damn, we gonna have to fight this hoe. This hoe trying to take you out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this hoe really trying to take you out, gang. We're gonna have to fight this hoe. You feel me? But that wasn't even the worst of it. The worst of it, I'm gonna tell y'all the worst of it and I'm gonna leave. Right now it's 1:37 in the morning. Fam. There was one point when I had COVID in the pen, when I had like, what would I call this shit? What would you call it? Extreme? I would call it extreme. Extremely volcanic. Extremely eruptious diarrhea. You feel me? Man, fam, I had this shit. I had a piece of paper that I would write down how many times I would go in a day, right? For a week straight, fam. I had fucking volatile, there you go. Volatile diarrhea, gang. And like the first day, I probably went like 5 times. But I'm saying the most I ever went in one day was like 14 times, fam. That shit was just like blowing up out of me, fam. I'd be chilling in bed. I don't know if any of y'all ever had it during COVID, but I had this shit. I'd be chilling in bed, fam, and my stomach would start rumbling. That will be the heads up. That will give me the heads up. Like, hey, fool, it's about to go down. You better hurry your ass up, get to the toilet. Anytime my stomach rumbled, it was time to get to the toilet, right? My stomach would rumble. Right? It'd be probably saying West Side when we ride or some shit, right? And then I get my ass to the toilet, and next thing I know, I'm blowing that hole up. Boo! I'm talking about that shit coming at me like volatile. And then the cells that I was in at that time, it was honeycomb doors. So the cell doors, it had holes in them bitches. Hella holes. It was honeycomb doors. You feel me? Hella holes. So your neighbor, my next door neighbor is just right there, fam. Like 2 feet away, fam. Like it's my door. It's like probably 1 foot, and then my neighbor's door. My neighbors, I had some black neighbors, some Crips, right? Them fools could hear me in their cell blowing the toilet up every time I was blowing it up with diarrhea, right? And that shit wasn't no like little low boop, no, it was boo, hey, boo, get out the way, boo. You feel me? That type of shit, like that motherfucker. I was on the even I was shocked. Even I was sitting on the toilet saying to myself, like, damn, what the fuck that come from? Because I literally wasn't eating and I literally wasn't drinking, but I was still fucking spraying something. Like, it was like, whatever was left, it was going after the residue in my stomach, man. It was taking everything I had from my gut, from my stomach lining and sending it out of me, fam. That shit was crazy, gang. Right? And so, like, one day, and just imagine being my neighbors, because one day I went, like the first day I went, it was like 5 times that day. And these fools are sitting in their cell. It ain't no solid steel door, it's honeycomb doors. So they sitting in their cell, literally hearing me going boom, all on the toilet. They were literally in their cell, they were Crips. They're like, damn, cuz, you hear the homie next door, cuz? You hear that shit, cuz? And I'll be like, boo. They're like, damn, cuz. You hear that shit? I'll be like, boo. They're like, oh, hell no, cuz dying over there. And shit like that, right? And then one day, I swear to y'all, the most I went in one day was like 14 times straight that one day. I was literally keeping tabs. I was writing it down. I was get on the toilet. I put like day 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And that day it was like 14 times, gang. I was sitting on the toilet, west side when we ride, just blowing this. I had to buy extra toilet paper from the tier tender. I had to buy toilet paper. The dude felt so bad for me, the tier tender. I was buying so much toilet paper, he gave me some extra rolls for free. I told him I'm sick, gang. This is a diarrhea part of this sickness, right? I got that part. Man, I'm fucked up right now. He was like, don't even trip, loved one. I got you, gang. Slid me 2 more rolls on GP. I like, good looking out, man. I'm over here blowing this bitch up. And I wasn't eating or drinking, fam. I didn't touch no water, no food. I was blowing that shit for like a whole week. Everything that I had in my body went out. That motherfucker stripped my intestinal gut lining for everything it had, man. Everything I had in my body. Shit that I didn't even know. That's why I know that you have more shit in your body than you think. Even after you drop a deuce, there's still deuces left in you, fam. That motherfucker shit just be chilling, powered up for way long, fam. It be in there, fam. Trust me. Old shit, new shit, medium shit. It be all up in there, man. I'm telling you. West side. West side. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna end this live now, fam. I'm finna go blow some more trees and I'm gonna kick it. You feel me? You feel me? It's 1:40 something in the morning. Y'all be smooth.